Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome. I'm here at a Shared Universe podcast studio. My name is Ming Chen. Uh, we're gonna start the holidays a little bit early today. And you know what? It's never too early to celebrate the spirit of Santa, the spirit of Christmas, the spirit of jolly old Saint Nick. I'm here with a great friend, very special guest. Uh, I know her from an amazing thing she created a few years ago called the Angry Little Asian Girl, which kind of rebranded to just Angry Little Girls, to now a Christmas book. Um, but this is someone I've seen at many conventions, and so I consider a great friend. Hello, Lela Lee. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, Ming. How are you?
I am doing great. So I'm Asian, obviously, as are you, and I got tipped off to what you have created. I think by my cousin Minsu. I think I was at LA Comic Con a few years ago,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Hey, so there's this thing called Angry Little Asian Girls. You got to check it out. She's got a booth. Can you pick me up a boatload of stuff?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." My cousin lives in Houston. I was like, "I'll get whatever you want. I'll ship it over." And I came over. I met you. I saw your amazing creations, um, which still cracks me up to no end. And and I kept seeing you as you got bigger. You got a booth over at San Diego Comic Con. You just got back from Designer Con in Vegas.
hmm
Yeah, everything's huge. And now you have a Christmas book out. So if you've never been exposed to an Asian mother or an Asian family, but more especially the Asian mother, it's a pretty unique experience. I my biggest joke is I whenever I call my parents, especially my mom, and people are like, "Oh, how's your mom doing?" I was like, "I know everything is okay with my mom if I call her and she's yelling at me on the phone. If she's yelling at me." And people are like, "Well, what is she yelling at you about?" I'm like, "Everything. My choice of profession stinks. She doesn't like me traveling so much. She thinks I'm gaining weight. It's all of it. It's
All of it's bad.
all of it's bad."
Always
And I
bad.
think this is a particular panel that really got me. So this is very not even stereotypical. It's very very true of most Asian families. Uh, Anytime I try to give my mom anything, uh, the first reply was, "Why did you waste your money on me?" Or why,
Uh-huh.
or this exact quote, "Why you waste money?" And I once I saw that, I was like, "All right, you got me, you get me." And it's
Well,
still true. And you know what? It saves me from buying gifts now. It's great. So,
she'll probably yell at you for buying the card, even.
oh yeah, just anything that you spent money on, even if you made the gift, it's like, why'd you just spend money on the materials? And
hmm
you kind of have to talk your way out of that.
But you'll
Um,
also get in trouble if you don't get anything for her.
I feel guilt. She'll guilt trip me, but there's no way to win in this scenario, correct?
Well, I've heard actually some customers say that their moms prefer to just be given money. They don't want the gift, or if they get the gift, they go and return the gift and then they get the money from it. So I'm like, that's
Great. I've never given my mom money. I don't know why.
try it. Try it
I
this Christmas.
I'm gonna have to try it somehow. Um, what was the inspiration behind Angry Little Asian Girl, and then now the shift to Angry Little Girls, which kind of opens it up to the whole world. But is this something you came up with? Is what how and when did this get started?
Oh gosh, this mean it's such a long story. I was a college student and I was really depressed in college because it's a long story. Just basically, I felt very angsty. Um, and I
Yeah,
went
I
to
think
see,
we were in college in the '90s, correct? If
Mhm.
we're Asian, so it's hard to tell how old you are, and I'm not going to ask, but we look very young. So, but
Yeah,
that was the '90s were an age of angst. I felt the same way.
yeah, I was super, super angsty. And I didn't have any way to articulate kind of how I felt between two cultures, plus also the patriarchy and the sort of like the objectification I was feeling as a young woman. And I went to an animation festival And I came out of there more angry. And so my friend challenged me to make a cartoon about myself. And I had been taking a video editing class, and nobody did any work because it was on Tuesday nights and it was for no credit. So I drew a little, I booked the room, and I got the equipment for like a whole Saturday. And I cobbled together this little video called The Angry Little Asian Girl, the First Day of School. And then when I played it back to see what I had made, I realized I needed to put it away and hide it because it made me feel so ashamed to express that much anger because girls and Asians are not allowed to be angry. So I hid it away for indefinitely. Like I never thought I would pull it out again. Then when I graduated college, I had to work at my mom's dry cleaners, and in between the busy times, there's a slow pocket during the daytime where there's nothing to do. So I pulled it out and I started working on it again. And kind of just in happenstance, I was a volunteer photographer for a film society that had directors come for Q&As. So I just wanted to see movies for free. So
Totally understand.
I was
Totally
a
understand.
yeah, I was a volunteer photographer. And the programmer was like, "What is your story? Why are you always here every weekend? What do you do?" And I said, "Well, I'm an actor and a cartoonist, and I do this little thing called The Angry Little Asian Girl." She's like, "What's that? Send it to me." So I sent it. She called me a week later, said she loved it and she was going to program it before a feature. And because that society sort of had connections with the film critics, I got reviewed in the LA Times and the LA Weekly. And both of them gave me like glowing reviews that kind of stunned me, because when I was reading the reviews, I was thinking, did they really watch it? Because it's not really animated. It doesn't really move. But I think what it was the sentiment that it captured. And then when I went to the screening, and this was my first public screening ever, I was really nervous. I stood outside of the lobby, and just person after person came through the double doors and was like, "I'm angry too. I'm an angry little Asian girl." And I had this light bulb moment right there in the lobby, and I was like, "I'm going to make t-shirts." So I called up some sporting goods stores the very next day. And this is before blanks were a thing.
Oh yeah, or print on demand or whatever. Yeah, this is way early.
Way, way early. I think it was, I graduated in 96. Yeah, 96. So it was like 98. And I picked up the boxes of shirts and I was like, what did I just do? Oh my God. I had put it on a credit card, and I started panicking, and I called all of my friends. I had like maybe 6 friends. And
Yeah,
like, "Could you please buy a t-shirt off
yeah.
of me for
Please, I just
$20?
dumped a bunch of money into these. I need to recoup some of my costs.
Yeah, and then I just stuck a box in the trunk of my car, and whenever there was a crowd of people, I just like took out the box and I started selling out of my trunk.
Oh yeah, you're
That's
you're
how
like you're like Nike. That's how they got started.
yeah, basically like I did something crazy, and I was like, I cannot lose money on this, so I've got to make up for what I did. But the crazy thing is that my 6 friends wore them out, and then people that I didn't know started calling me to get the shirts. So my people were coming over to my apartment, and I thought, wow, this is really cool. I want to keep selling shirts, but this isn't exactly safe. I should look into a website and sell online. And that's kind of how it all began.
What was on that first shirt? I'm the proud owner of one that says I survived an Asian mom, and
So that one's a classic. It's
yes.
but the first one had a really kind of, it's the rough. I don't know if I have it anywhere. I don't think I have it. It's like deep in my archives,
All
but
right, it's vintage now. Yes,
it's so vintage, and it's an Asian girl with giving off 2 birds, and it's
yes,
this angry little Asian girl.
yes. Which if you look in the lower left, that's the headline character.
Yeah, under
The
your
Angry
name.
Little Asian. Yeah,
Yeah.
under me.
Uh-huh.
And then I love that you've expanded to everybody. Everyone's angry, right? So
Well, what happened was when I was selling shirts on the street, a lot of women that were non-Asian were like, "Where's my shirt? I'm angry too." And that really got me thinking, because this is all organic. I didn't study or plan this at all. It
yeah,
was just,
right. You do market research on this. So yeah,
no, no, not at all. But a bunch of women that were non-Asian, I was like, what? Wow, wait. patriarchy is like in every culture, women are angry. So I expanded it to have more characters. And when I was developing the characters originally, I realized I couldn't have them all be angry because it would be too strident. So I
Yeah,
kind of let them all have different varying personalities and levels of anger and awareness.
that's amazing. And you've expanded this into an empire. If you look behind you, stickers, books, notepads, t-shirts, buttons. This is a pin that I bought for my daughter, I think on the last time I saw you, which just says "Get your own sushi, bitch." Like, which rings true in any situation. Um, yeah, go get your own sushi. This is mine.
Hmm.
This is mine. I gave it to my daughter.
So,
She's 19. She loves it. So thank you very much.
yay! Yeah, that saying was it was on a bag first. Get your own bag, bitch. And it was such a good seller. And I was like, what is it about that sentiment? And I think it's with females, and I'm going to get sort of academic here.
Sure.
Um, maybe I'm like should teach a college course on this, but it's about women are always expected to give up what they have for other people. And so that statement to say get your own whatever bitch is
Right.
like no.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it resonated because I was like, what is it about this statement? So I took it to bags. I took it to a notebook or put it on a notebook. I put it on sushi.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. Anything, but sushi especially rings true. Like, listen, I,
Yeah, because everybody wants sushi.
everybody,
Hmm.
everybody rolls, nigiri, sushi, sashimi, everything,
Yeah.
hand rolls. Yeah, go get your own. Go order your own.
Yeah.
The chef is
Especially
right
because they're
there.
so expensive.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I can't spare one roll. No, go
No.
get your own.
Yeah.
Now I want sushi. So, and so now you've expanded into the spirit of Christmas. You've written a great book. It's called The Spirit of Santa, a book for big kids, and it's available on Amazon right now. The link is in the description if you're watching this. I read through it. I love it. You actually taught me a lot of things that I didn't know where the expression Saint Nicholas. I didn't know where Saint Nicholas came from. So you definitely educated on that. I mean, I listen. Christmas has become way over commercialized. Nobody knows the meaning of it anymore. It's all about spending money, getting and giving gifts. I don't have to tell everyone here that we've definitely lost our way, lost our spirit. You've brought a lot of that back.
Thank
And,
you.
and this is a book for kids who are maybe finding out that Santa Claus is not exactly real, or you hit that point in your life when you're a kid where usually an older sibling or older friend reveals this horrible truth. And hopefully, I'm not spoiling this for anybody watching right now. But listen, you can't go on with the myth forever. But the spirit, it's all about the spirit and
Yeah.
the origin. Um, what inspired you to write this, and why Christmas? What was your Christmas like when you were a kid?
So I remember when I found out Santa was not real. I mean, I had my suspicions, but really kind of what made me think about making this book was when I had my own kids, and it was around the time that it's exhausting for parents to put this all on. So my
It's
husband and
another
I,
job, yeah.
yeah, we were sneaking around. We got all different kinds of wrapping paper. We like hid stuff, and we had to feel like we could had to top each Christmas every year. And I remember picking up my youngest son from school, and he was so upset because right around the holidays, and he had to verify with me what he was hearing on the playground from the older kids. And I didn't really know how to handle it. And I remembered writing on a post-it, my next book would be about Santa is a lie, because Angry Little Girls is all about how girls are transitioning from girlhood to sort of like a jaded world. So I felt like that Santa is a lie would be appropriate for the Angry Little Girls to sort of tackle or experience. So I sat on this idea for many years, And then I did some research about St. Nicholas and about how Santa came to be. And then I put the story together, but I sat on it for 3 years because I didn't want to be the one to let the cat out of the bag. But it was, I think, last Christmas season, I was shopping and I overheard two moms, and they were really like very very in a dilemma about like what they were doing, because they were like, what do I tell my son, or are they asking how should we, what are you gonna do, like. So I just, I came from overhearing their conversation. I said I have to write this book
Yeah.
because I mean it's not going to be right for everybody, and I really don't want little kids to have that spoiled for them. But I think for like around 8, 9, 10, that age, it is kind of a more gentler way of revealing the truth about how Santa came to be. But it's actually a great story because they sort of learn how Santa became mythical, and that now it's their turn to be Santas for the people that they care about. And in the end, they just make homemade gifts. You know, they make
Yeah.
an ornament. You know, they draw something or make a poem. Because I really wanted it to be about the thought instead of what's bought. Because it's you don't even have to buy the book; you get it at the library.
Yeah, yeah. Although ideally by the book, it's not that much, and it's listen, if you, for parents out there maybe dealing with this, and you're going to, it's going to come up, whether your kid's 8, 9, 10, maybe even younger. If handled in the wrong way, it can be traumatic. It can be crushing.
Totally. Yeah, I remember. I mean, do you remember when you learned that Santa wasn't real?
Well, here's my deal. So, we've kind of, my parents were very frugal. They were not very religious. So we never really celebrated when I was a kid. So I knew very early on that there was no Santa, because all my American friends, I grew up in the US, were getting these huge presents purportedly from Santa, and I was getting nothing, so, or very little. So I kind of figured out very early on that there was no Santa. Yeah, I didn't think I was a bad kid not getting gifts. I just, it was never, we just never really celebrated. So, um, and I guess as a result with my kids, and we kind of went overboard as a result. And me as an adult, I love giving gifts. I don't really care about getting them as much as I figured out the spirit of Christmas through another path. So I didn't really have to deal with the trauma of learning that Santa wasn't real. Uh, but I've seen other kids, it can be crushing. And I love the way you wrote about it and handled it. I think it's a great way to teach older kids who are starting to learn or might be hearing rumors that there is no Santa, to maybe not only learn the truth but appreciate the season a lot more, for sure.
Yeah, and I have to be honest, I was really torn about doing PR for this book because I really didn't want to blanket my messaging like that. It's because you don't know who's on
Sure.
social media. They may be younger. So I kind of wanted to get the older crowd, like the parents, uncles, aunts,
Yeah.
just because I feel like it needs to be introduced in a way at the right time. So,
No,
yeah,
I mean, I think this book is as important as any number of books about puberty, maybe, or it's just like kind of like it's
that's amazing. That's a high honor. Thank you.
yeah. Listen, I mean, I think Christmas is more, or the holidays are might be even more important than your body changing when you're
Well,
hit
actually,
13.
you
You
think
know,
about it, there aren't that many puberty books either.
Not much anymore. Yeah, and the ones that are out there are pretty like heavy hitting. They're very clinical. So any any if you can find a gentler path into these things, as you did with this book, the better. I'm gonna throw up the cover here. So um we have the angry little girls represented. There's Saint Nicholas, and there's the cover. It's the book for big kids. And I'm gonna throw up, this is one of the opening pages. Uh Introducing the characters, and on the back is how do you talk to your kids about Santa Claus? It's a big moment when children are ready to know. It's the moment when little kids become big kids who carry on the spirit of Saint Nicholas It's when they learn that all around the world, the spirit of Santa is real. Yeah, I love that. Um, I and yeah, my I don't think my kids ever questioned me. I get you know what, with the internet and just everything that kids have access to, I think they learn they're learning pretty early on,
Yeah.
so, but they're not learning about the spirit. So which is why I love this book so much.
Yeah, and um yeah, I just really wanted to make sure that in the end, when the girls discover it's their turn, that they handmade things cuz it means a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what? Anyone can go on Amazon and buy a gift, but to actually put time into making a gift, that definitely says a lot for sure. Um,
Yeah, I'm mostly proud of Zyla's poem because I mean, technically I wrote it. But I give credit to Zyla for writing the poem, but I
yeah,
really
there's a handwritten poem near the end of the book. No spoil that we're not going to spoil for you.
no, no, they have to read the book to get to the poem.
Yeah. So how I know you said on this you said you sat on this for 3 years. How long did it take you to write and illustrate this?
Um so for those 3 years that I was sitting on it, the drawings were done.
Okay.
And once I committed to doing it, um once I have a goal and I make it my goal, I work pretty fast. So from start to finish, the production of it took about a year, and
Yeah.
the hard part was proofing it. So once I really wanted the red framing where each page has the red framing, but every time I got it back from the printer, it was always crooked. So it wasn't really centered. So
Right.
I redid that thing maybe 8 times, and I was like, "Oh my god." So finally I
I mean, once it goes to print and it's out there, you can't change it. You know, maybe you can revise it, but you know, once you have
yeah,
thousands of copies out there, and if it's not perfect, you're gonna see it every time. So
yeah, I was so because I do feel that once it's out there, it's really hard to retract it, so it's gotta be perfect.
yeah,
Um, but there was one page where one of the characters was missing, and I was told by one of the customers that bought an early copy, she said, "Oh, one of the characters is missing on this page," and I'm like, "Oh my god!" So I went and I fixed it. Thankfully, I only had sold like 5 or 6 at that point because it was
okay,
very early, but I went and fixed it, and yeah, it's a lot to look. There's a lot of steps when you're making a book because you have to come up with the idea, then you have to write it, you draw it,
yeah, you gotta
ink
lay
it,
it out,
lay
format everything.
all that. Then you print it, and then you have to go through multiple checks and also get a proofreader. So it took a lot, but I knowing this because I've made so many books before, I kind of know what to expect and what the process is.
Yeah,
But I started self-publishing maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So this will be my third no, third book self-published that's an original, that's direct, like I made it and I self-publish it because the
right, and you also
other
paid for it too. So that let's not leave that part out.
right, I did pay for it, and then the other titles that were my original books that were out in the 2000s, those were traditionally published, and the rights reverted back to me about, oh gosh, like 8 years ago. But again, I didn't know what to do with those because I'm like, what am I gonna do? How do I make books? But I figured it out kind of like a couple years back, and I say that like it's really fun to make a book. It's I don't know. I'm really happy with how it came out.
Yeah, I haven't experienced it yet, but I'm working on it. But I imagine there's no greater feeling than getting that box and you open it up with with a blade, and you pull out the physical copies. That must be a great feeling.
It's a great feeling, and you don't want to rush it. I mean, I knew I had a deadline, so I gave myself. I mean, I had a couple. I mean, sitting on it for 3 years, so I did time it well. But when you're working on a book, my advice to you would be, don't feel rushed. Make sure that you proof it, and even if you proof it, get someone else to proof
Yeah,
it because you're going to miss stuff because you're staring at the same thing for years and years and years. So you expect that it makes sense because your brain is filling in the things that you thought you put in, but another person, another set of eyes will catch those things.
For sure. And yeah, just get another set of eyes on there. That's the Amazon link. It's in the description, so you don't have to memorize that. You can order it now. And how's the reception been so far?
It's been good. I got a really great review on Amazon. It was super sweet. And then I think it's still early because I mean, I guess to be honest, I only have maybe like 2 months to sell this book,
Sure.
but it's okay. I just wanted it out there.
That's amazing. I mean, congratulations on that. I think it's so cool. And
Thank
what are
you.
you working on now? I know you've always got products coming up with new stuff for the angry little girls to comment on. Um, definitely follow Lela on Instagram. The all your new stuff is posted on there, and
Yeah.
your convention schedule is growing as well. I know before we went on, you mentioned you hate to travel, but um, yeah, you may have to go. You may have to go outside a couple times.
Yeah, I
Promote.
think what my problem is that I'm having growing pains. I probably need to hire, but I don't want to because managing people is another job.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I kind of do everything as much as I can by myself,
Right.
but I don't know, I've lured in my husband and my kids, they help me, and then I'm working on sort of just figuring out my schedule a little bit better. I'm working on some better display boxes for stores to have for different products. And then I'm working on bag lines. The way I work it is that I bring in a design, I sell through it when I'm low. I'll decide if I want to make another batch or reorder it or put it to sleep and
Yeah.
make a new one. So those are, I mean, it's all fun. It's the same
It
stuff, but different stuff.
Yeah, it is. But what you've done is very unique. It's very fun. It's very funny, most importantly, and it's something that I really relate to. And I mean, I love everything you put out. I love that you're out there. I love that you made a Christmas book as well.
Thank
And
you. What I wanted to do when I created it was, I guess I was making it for myself. I wanted to make something that I wanted to see in the marketplace, and that's why I felt it was important to keep going and put it out there in product because the product also spreads the message and it gives representation. I'm getting academic again, but
sure,
it does mean something for us to see ourselves, to feel that we have things in the marketplace for us.
yeah, and I think you've influenced and touched a lot of people. So keep going, please. And I can't wait to see you at the next show. Is there anything I missed?
No. Happy
Okay.
holiday.
Happy holiday. Yeah, I try to hit everything. So, and yeah, great luck with this. I'm going to tell everybody about it for sure. And I just love your global takeover. So it's
I don't know about that, but
it's
okay.
pretty amazing. Listen, they don't give everyone a booth at San Diego Comic Con, so that's all I'm saying. It's very very difficult. So, so
Well, I think I was on that wait list I was on and off for over, I think, 10 years.
yeah, it's tough. It's
It's
tough.
tough.
I love I every time I go to San Diego, I make a list of the people I need to visit, and you're always at the top of the list. So whatever your
Thank
booth number
you.
is, so for sure. Great luck with this book, and yeah, I can't wait to see what you come up with next for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm I I'm working on some animation for
Oh,
YouTube.
oh, okay. Conquering the world of animation. Okay, I can't wait to see it.
But it's still early yet, and I have to then learn it. So give me a little time, but I'll get it.
Fantastic. And if you ever need a random voice for those animations, I'm
Really?
here. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay, I'll take you up on it.
Yeah, I got microphones. I can record it professionally. So yeah.
Nice.
Awesome. Leela, thank you so much. Again, great luck with the book, The Spirit of Santa, a book for big kids. Available on Amazon right now. There's the link, but it's also in the description. I'll be spreading it everywhere. But if you have kids, if you know kids, if you've seen kids, this book is either for them or eventually will be for them or may be for them right now. So, Leela, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ming.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys soon. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.